year would have been really good, man.
Yeah,
man, he just done. I quit. Bye.
Dude, I think what happened was he had razor burn from his beard, dude, and he just had to give up.
Oh, that's the story of my life.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
just using them disposable Bic instead of like Gillette. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
You got that pretty beard, Steve.
You got to have the one that has the little moisture strips on it, man.
Yeah, the ones that wear off after 2 shaves.
I think Tony's got the prettiest beard here, though. But
I actually started. You know what's funny is I started to let it grow out, and now I actually look like the cartoon me that is on some of my stuff.
Yeah, I keep paying for new cartoon me's, and everybody's always like, "Who the fuck is that? That doesn't look like you." I'm like, I think they look like me.
Give you a little. Why don't you always give you the little Marcel French mustache?
I was waiting for it. All right, now they can see us.
Well, what's up?
Oh fuck.
How you guys doing tonight?
Yeah, wow. I still don't see it.
What an exciting intro, Steve.
Thank you. Oh, okay, sorry. How you guys doing? What's up? What's good? What's happening? We got Mr. Tony here tonight, and it is going to be a good one. So how you guys doing? Better?
I'm doing good.
Good?
Yeah. I was just trying to find I don't see the video on your. Well,
it's there.
Maybe we go to home. There we go.
Fuck you, Tweak. I will not behave myself.
Behavior is all we got.
Yeah, I told the guys to behave themselves. They get a little out of line in chat sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, in the chat in there? Well, that happens a lot.
Well, I do want to thank you for being on here tonight, Mr. Tony B. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it, man. Even though it's 9:00 on the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and I'm like, man, that couch is sounding really good right now.
Steve knows what I'm going to say. It's 6:00. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, for us too, it's 9, all right? 9 p.m.
Yep.
Yeah. I had to scarf down my dinner and run in here.
Hungry man dinner?
No, it was pork loin with mashed potatoes, Brussels sprouts, and I had pie afterwards.
Damn, good. Yeah, I cooked in the crock pot yesterday.
Now, spoiled rotten now.
Yeah, well, see, now I do the cooking in my house. I did the crock pot yesterday, and one of my mom's recipes, you take cube steak, which is cheap, right? Cube steak, and you fry the hell out of that, man. You put it in a pan with a little bit of flour on it, fry the hell out of it so it's like a hockey puck. Put that in the crock pot with some cream of potato soup and a little bit of beef broth. Leave it in there all day, and that crunch, that really burnt meat softens back up, and all the flavor gets in. Oh my God, it's so good. And we had it for 2 nights.
Have you ever tried one of those instant pots?
I've tried. You know what? I'm not good with the instant pot, but I'm great with the air fryer.
Dude, I do the instant pot. I do a 4-pound roast in there. I throw my carrots and onions and everything in there, and I glaze it, and then pour a little red wine in there, and just set it for 50 minutes.
That's
open it up 50 minutes, throw my potatoes in, put it back in for 10 minutes, and I got beef stew. I just got to shred the meat.
Hey, Steve. I make a mean Hot Pocket. I put it in the microwave for 1 minute.
Yeah.
I flip it around, put it in for another minute. But you got to make sure you cut a little slit at the top so that doesn't explode. You don't get the pepperoni all over. Right. Then you get just a little bit of ranch. You put it on the plate. You dip that Hot Pocket in, and mwah.
Hey, Tony. That's how
fantastic.
Tony, that's how you know the age difference between us and them.
Look, I'm a pretty good Hot Pocket cooker too, so I've made a few of them.
I can make a good grilled cheese, man. That's about
me too, actually. Mayonnaise instead of butter.
A good Hot Pocket because I've seen the Picky Eater channel and I know what his taste is like.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, I started that channel because I'm a 50-year-old dude that eats like a 3-year-old. So it's like, what the hell, dude? So everybody's always picking on me. So I was like, I'm going to start that channel. But what's really weird is that I went to the doctor and not weird, but I went to the doctor, and after sitting with him, he's like, well, dude, you're in great shape, except for you're a little overweight. We can work on that. And I was like, okay, cool. So we started talking about my diet. He's like, oh no, this is bad. Your diet is really, really bad. And I said, well, I'm a picky eater, and there's very few things that I can really get into and eat. I won't eat onions, peppers, mushrooms, tomatoes.
Wow, you're like naming all the shit I won't eat.
Yeah, I won't eat it. I won't. No. So, but
I will do tomatoes. Why don't you like tomatoes? What?
I won't do tomatoes, but I like ketchup, and I like.
Yeah.
I just won't do raw tomatoes. I don't like raw tomatoes.
Yeah, can't do it. But she has now my nurse DJ. She is a nutritionist, and she's also good looking, so it doesn't hurt. I've been listening to her. I'm trying. So she got me. I'm eating now Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and cauliflower, but only if I put them in the air fryer and roast them up. I can't eat them raw. I can't do it.
Did you ever try cauliflower mash? The mashed potatoes made out of cauliflower?
I've got some in the freezer, and I did do a cauliflower pizza with the pizza crust is made of cauliflower.
I've done that. Yeah,
I don't eat cauliflower, but the first time I tried cauliflower mash, I eat cauliflower now.
See, there you go. Well, I have had the riced cauliflower. That's I made fried rice with it. Probably didn't help that I put a bunch of soy sauce in there and bacon and eggs, but
I'll eat tomatoes, but they got to be diced up, and I can't have that gunky shit in the middle, man. That's tomato I don't like.
Jelly.
Yeah, it's nature's uncooked fruit. It's not. Yeah. I don't enjoy it. I'm trying this for the first time tonight. Allagash, whatever this stuff is. One of my friends won a 6-pack of this. It's 9.3% alcohol by volume. So,
ooh, that's got a kick.
That's got a kick. I don't know if it's beer though, or what the heck it is. Honey and caramel notes meet oak. Belgian style Scotch ale. Okay, there you go. It's pretty good.
Hey, that Aspire thing just leaked all over my mud.
Oh, what the disposable?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, you said it was gurgling. When you said that, I was like, it might leak then.
Yep.
It's weird though, because sometimes if I like with one of those, if I had 3 of them, I'll test something like that, and with one juice, it's just it's not working. So sometimes I'll be like, I'm gonna give it another chance and try this juice. And if sometimes I don't know, for whatever reason, the juice will make the difference. But yeah, that's not good.
Especially, the juice, the flavor is great on this. I have the Jam Monster PB and Jam in here.
Yeah,
it actually tastes really good.
Well, I was showing these guys before we started. This is the Innikin disposable. It's called Go. It's a sub-ohm tank with adjustable airflow, and I like it. The disposables, it's like, look, man, I get it. People are like, oh, we're so wasteful. And yeah, we are. But you have to remember that I think, and people like Dimitri and Phil have told me, that's pretty much where things are going.
Yeah. Well, because they want to be able to sell it in a gas station.
And anything that makes it easier for people to get them and use them, I think that's what we're going to see these companies doing.
I just never been
they wouldn't be making them if they weren't selling.
Exactly. So. They don't just make it and go, well, we're going to make people buy this type of product now. So I get that a lot too. Like, oh, not another pot. I'm like, well, that's what they're making and sending, I might seek out something else, just so I have something else to change it up. But
there's an on-running joke that they think I'm racist in here for some odd reason.
Well, hold on. Hold your hand up like this. Yeah, that's okay. Well,
you're not bad at that, Bill. That looks pretty natural on you, buddy.
Don't be angry.
So there's been a debate. I'm gonna say it like this first because you'll see why in a second. Your side fill squonk with Watofo. How the fuck do you pronounce the name?
Dyadic.
Yes. I've been calling it Diaduck or Diadic.
Well, it's Dyadic. See, when we named that one, it was like, okay, they wanted me to come up with a name, and I was like, I want something that sounds kind of cool, sounds kind of metal. So I was looking it up in a thesaurus, and I came across that, and what that means is basically of two or of pairing, and it's like for twins and that kind of thing. But I was like, hey, there's 2 batteries, dyadic, let's do it.
There you go.
It's hard to come up with names for these things.
Oh, I imagine, yeah.
You got to come up with something catchy, and it can be hard,
And then you got people like me who every single video makes fun of product names.
Yeah.
Base the whole intro around it.
I have done that too. I get it.
Well, I think some of them, it's like the armadillo RDA, man. I mean, come on, man.
Right.
I mean, like, dude.
Like, that was what you came up with in the conference room?
Yeah, armadillo, dude.
Okay, that's what we're going to call it.
The armadillo.
Yeah, Mike Vapes pronounced it dialysis a couple of times on his live show, but when he did the video, he's like, I get it, it's the dialysis. But, I don't know why I was calling it that.
Dialysis.
He's thinking about his future.
Well, same thing with the swell. When I did that, first of all, the guys in China, when I suggested that name, they went, "You mean like an injury?" I went, "No, not like an injury." and then Brian messaged me on Facebook and he goes, "Get ready for the swell in my pants jokes." I went, "That's fine. Bring it on, man."
Oh, by the way, Mark is trying to help Bill out because he thinks Bill just got confused by what Tony was talking about. A thesaurus is a book of synonyms, Bill.
I know what a thesaurus is.
Just
if I told you what my dad used to do to me, you would laugh.
Yeah,
I don't know if I would laugh.
I mean,
no, I didn't get beat as a kid per se. When I used to get in trouble and it was minorly in trouble, my dad would sit down and drop a Webster's dictionary in front of me, pick out a letter, and I had to read that entire section. And he would quiz me after I was done.
Lucky. Seriously, I would have taken that over what I got any day.
Dude, my dad was a drill instructor in the Navy, so he was a pretty tough guy. He was a short guy, and he had a little, apparently, this is what I'm told, is back in the day, he had a little black box that he would throw down at their feet, and he'd get in their face and be like, "Do you have a fucking problem with me?" I'm like, well, it rings true. But you know what? My dad was a hard ass, but I think it helped me, I guess. I don't know. And he's cool now. He's way cool.
Respectful.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lack of that out there these days. But.
Nick Pinkerton said, "Bill, a book is a book is a collection of words."
Yeah. Okay.
He all works at a fucking doctor's office. People pretend he's a dumb racist. Like, what is that?
You guys are gonna miss me next year. You know that, right?
Next year.
Where are you going?
I'm going back to school.
Back to school?
Yep, I'm going for my PA.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
Yeah.
Wasn't your doctor's office right by that vape shop that I went to and met you? Or yeah.
Yeah.
Is that still there?
My doctor's office is by your other house up on the west side. It's right around the corner from it.
Yeah, Fort Apache, Cheyenne area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I had another house.
Well, I don't really. That house is rented year round, and I make about $10 a month profit.
Oh man, bringing in the cake.
But I've owned it for 20-something years, so it's probably worth more than I paid for.
Weren't you a DJ out there or something?
Yeah. I actually started in San Diego as a news guy for Kogo AM 600, and also a talk show producer. Yeah, when I was in San Diego, it was like, with news from the North County, I'm Tony Britton, Kogo, AM 600 News. I got that stuff down. And then I went from San Diego to Vegas, worked there for 4 years at a classic rock station at night, 96.3 KKLZ. Killed it there, man. Had adult stars on my show, strippers. When you're in Vegas at night, you're competing against all of that stuff because that's what people have to do in Vegas. So yeah. And of course it was a male 2554 station, so win and roam, man. Then I went from Vegas to Memphis. I was in Memphis for 4 years. Actually lived in the same town as ST, and then went from Vegas to Memphis, Memphis to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and then for 1 year I went to the Jersey Shore, and it sucked. So.
That's where Bill's from.
Yeah.
Yep.
I could tell from his voice.
Yeah.
Not his mannerisms, mind you.
No, I don't talk with.
Yeah.
I do.
No, I do talk with my hands, but not that much.
I find that hard to believe, Bill.
No,
when you work in radio, you end up moving a lot. So when I bought that house in Vegas and thought, I'm going to live here forever, and then I got this job offer about 12 months later and was like, son of a bitch. I got to take this job. You know,
I'm
as program director.
I haven't thought about selling it. The market is huge here right now for sellers.
Well, that's why I'm holding on to it, because with the Raiders moving there and you know, and the Knights doing really well and all that stuff, a lot of people are migrating there to do support work for those teams. So.
Actually, they're right now in bids for a professional baseball team.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, we have two AAA baseball teams. They want their own team now.
Right. Well, see, when I lived there, there was none of that, because they were like, "Oh no, we can't have teams in the same place where you gamble." Yeah. Like, well, why not? They have that everywhere else.
When you were here, they had the 51 still, right?
Yes, they did have the 51 still.
Yeah. Now they're the Aviators. They changed their name and built them a brand new park.
So they gave up all that 51 stuff, which was actually cool.
Yeah.
One of the funnest things I got to do when I was working at that radio station is, you remember Ron Futrell? Is he still there? Weather guy, I think. Was he sports or weather?
Oh, yeah, he was sports actually. He's been replaced now. They've turned all the news into little cute girls, and that's not
such a bad thing. I don't know, but Ron Futrell and I raced in a celebrity race with those cars that look like old Chevys that are motorcycle engines in them. They call them legend cars. So we raced in those, and dude, I was kicking his ass, man. And then I got low on the track, got in those marbles, and spun that thing out. And I was like, son of a, because he was passing me as I did that. I was like, you suck. But it was fun, dude. I had a lot of fun in Vegas. That was good times, man.
I keep saying, if these guys come out to the show this year, I'll take them to a couple local fun spots, like maybe the Palomino or something like that.
Oh, those are good fun spots. Yeah. Is the what is that place called? Little Darlings? Is that still there?
Yeah, Little Darlings is still there. It's 100 beautiful dancers and one ugly one.
Yeah, I liked that place because they had this shower thing there.
Yep.
And the girls were in the shower and you were washing them off. I was like, this is cool. And now I did it purely because I worked at the radio station.
Sure.
Of course.
That's why.
It's research.
But also, you would go there with your beer and you would put it in this beer valet thing in front, and you could go out there and get your own beer and bring it back in, only a 6-pack at a time. I was like, I love this.
Yeah, they still do that. Now they have, Tuesday nights is amateur night. So you'll be sitting there and a girl will just stand up next to you and get up on stage and start taking her clothes off. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Some of them you really don't want taking their clothes off, but others I'm pretty cool with.
Yeah. Yeah. For a while I was the
Mark. Oh.
I was the host at Club Platinum for a while as their amateur night thing. That was fun. Right across from the Hard Rock.
Yep. That's a great place.
Yeah. Well, it was expensive, but luckily the gay bartender there had a thing for me. So I was like, I got anything I wanted beer-wise. Drinks.
Drinks. Drinks. Specified. The chat will chew you up if you don't specify.
Yeah, let's be clear.
Well, Fictitious, how do you know about Deja Vu? That's up the road for me. I've actually never been to a strip club.
What?
Not once. I've had strippers at houses or parties, but I've never been to an actual strip club.
Right.
Yeah,
never.
There's Deja Vu here in Vegas, and what people don't realize, it's owned by Vince Neil from Motley Crue.
Oh, that Deja Vu is? Are they all? Or just that one?
No, just this one here.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, just this one here. 2 people got into it because there's Deja Vu is owned by Vince Neil, and Tony will get this. Maybe some of the older guys in the chat will get this.
He's calling you old, Tony.
He just called me old. I'm like, well, that's okay.
No, I didn't call you old. I said some of the older guys in chat might get it. But there's a place here called Count's Devamped, and it's a bar with stage and pool tables, and it's owned by a man by the name of
the Count, right? The Count from Count's Customs.
No, it was bought by Don Dokken.
Oh, really? Okay, that's awesome.
Not many people will know who Don Dokken is, but it's
who the hell's Don Dokken, man?
Really, dude? Are you for real?
I don't know who Don Dokken is, man.
Come on, man. Dokken, into the fire!
Yes. But the first night he opened it, when Don Dokken opened it, what's his name? I can't remember his first name. Lynch, the guy who used to play with Don Dokken.
George Lynch, yeah.
Yeah, George Lynch. They actually got back together at the opening, and they did a reunion concert in the bar.
Great. Yeah, that would be great.
I was going to say Marshawn Lynch.
I was there, and everybody's looking at me. I was like the oldest guy in the bar, and they're like, "Who the hell is this guy?" I'm like, "Just shut up, leave me alone."
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, man, that would be a good time, dude. That's one of those where you're like, wait, George Lynch just showed up, dude. He's a great guitarist, man. Hell.
Well, a couple people were waiting for a fight to break out because they were apart for a long time.
Yeah, they weren't happy with each other, no.
Yeah, now they're older and calm.
And they're like, we also need to make some money, dude. So yeah, let's do some shows or something.
I'm so lost.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, guys. Thanks for drawing me into an old conversation, Bill.
All right, so let's do a buffet. What's Tony vaping on so everybody can see?
Well, I'm vaping on. Well, actually, I just did a video on this today. This is is that Wakatel or Alcatel?
Or it looks like, is it Quick? Quick.
It's what? It's Oukitel. It's called the Mate, and it's actually working really good. This one works well. Let's see. I'm vaping on a couple of PAL 2s that I have in here. Yeah. And I've got the Swell with the Anakin Go on top of it. And then I've got the Diatic in blue.
Of course, blue.
I want to pick one of those up, man, because I want to.
Me too.
Okay, well, here's the funny thing about this thing. Okay, when we first started making that mod, or when we finally got to the stage for release, they were like, okay, well, now you also have to remember they have some internal changes. They just bought ORF or OFRF, or somehow they became partners. But they were like, okay, well, we're not going to make too many of these. We're going to start off with a couple thousand. We'll see what the interest is, and we'll go from there. Well, right now, I can't get a hold of them to find out what's going on because all the U.S. vendors are like, dude, we can't get stock of it. We're trying to. And I'm like, okay, what is going on? So I don't know. These could be kind of a unicorn thing. If you got one, you got one. If you didn't, you didn't. Which I'm okay with. It's just I want the communication to be there because I'm like, look, dude, I don't really care. I'm just glad it's out, right? But, you got to tell me what's going on. So you guys have a scoop on that because I haven't talked about that yet. It's just
where can you get it then?
I think you can still buy it on their website. Let me see something real quick.
My Repro has it on his website,
but it's out of stock because he can't get it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I messaged him like a month ago, and I still haven't heard back from him on Facebook or on email.
Okay, they say they have 13 in stock on the Watofo website.
Yeah, because I seen it a little while back, and I was really interested in picking one up.
Yeah, so I'm like, look, my thing is this: it's cool. No big deal. Just tell me what the hell is going on because now all these people are like, I want to get one, and you might not be able to. I don't know. Now, I know that they shipped some to the UK because I've seen them show up at websites there on Instagram, but I'm just trying to find out. It's one of those things where you're like, okay, well, just tell me what's up so I can tell everybody. So, I don't know.
Yeah, that would be really frustrating.
It is because you're like, dude, and this is not what I expect because I've never gotten to this stage with them, but everybody says they're really good to work with. So we'll just see what happens.
So what's coming? Is there any hints about what's coming down the pipe for the Vapor Trail channel? What devices?
Well, I'm always working on something, and I do have something that's pretty freaking cool. We'll just see because there's a lot of stuff. One of the reasons why a company like Watofo might be having problems with selling in the U.S. is because the tariffs are really, really, they eat into the profits really bad. And people think, oh, well, they make, 80% profit off these things. Well, apparently not because they're that concerned about it that, they have to keep their price what it is. And if the tariffs are too high. So I don't know. We'll see. Plus the FDA stuff, if they shut it down, then maybe I won't have anything. But I've got something I've been working on for some time with Vandy Vape, and we'll see if that happens. If it does, I think it'll make a lot of people happy.
Yeah.
And speaking of Vape, the app for the iPhone, I'm so freaking frustrated right now with Apple. They allow other apps that have images that say vapor and pictures of stuff. Yeehee has an app under health and all that kind of stuff. Yet our app has been repeatedly turned down. We've changed things from we changed the name from Vape to Vandy, which I told them to do in the first place, but they didn't. Before they submitted it, I was like, "What are you thinking? You can't put vape in the title. Apple's not going to approve that." So so we figured out a way around it. And we were doing it as an enterprise app. So you just had to go in and approve it in your settings. Well, as of this morning, that doesn't seem to be working either. So they're shutting it down. But we're working on ways to get it on the iPhone. We'll figure something out, even if it has to be like a web app. But it's just like, come on, dude. It's totally approved on Android, no problems whatsoever. On App Store, it's just not good.
Yeah. No, that is not okay. I mean, everybody's trying to blackball us all of a sudden, man. It's like, I mean,
that's what it comes down to. It's like every time you try to do something, well, no, you can't do that. Not on my platform. No, you can't do that, or whatever. And it's very frustrating.
Is there another industry that gets treated this way, like this? I mean, is it like, it just feels like anything you want to do to further your anything, it just seems like there's always a roadblock in front of it. Like,
yeah, well, what it is everybody wants to control what everybody else does.
That's true. They always want to have their input and say why you can't do it. So
fictitious. I didn't say that it was going to be a new product coming soon. It's just I have something in the pipeline.
So, wait. Let me ask you guys, Bill, mostly Bill and Tony. You might have said this.
Thanks,
before.
Steve. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I just want to know, how did you guys become friends? Because I feel like you guys are pretty good friends.
Well, I met Bill years ago at a vape shop. I just happened to be in Vegas, I think, for a convention. And one of the things I like to do when I'm in a place that I don't get to that often is I like to find a couple vape shops and just go in there and see what they got, that kind of thing. And that's what I was doing. And I think, I don't know, did you call the store for something or something? It was like, yeah, Vapor Trail guy is in here. Yeah.
Yep. I called them up and they were like, oh yeah, Tony from the Vapor Trail channel. I think at that time you only had like 1,400 subscribers.
Yeah, I really didn't have that many at the time. I was just getting started. And I think that was one of my first vape conventions. And, but yeah, Bill's been there for a long time, man. And he's also the guy that I mentioned in so many giveaways. Just look for Bill Cooper down there in the comments. He's volunteered to be your friend in the U.S. He'll receive it, send it on to you. You still got to pay the $10 PayPal fee. There you go. I got it. Now, I can't do giveaways anymore. I can't do giveaways. I can't put links in the descriptions. Can't do any of that.
A lot of the bigger guys got caught on that because Mike got caught on it as well about putting links to the companies in his description.
I don't know if Mike specifically did, but I know of a few Bogan, Ambitions, a couple of others that they actually went in. Wendy Vapes went in and completely demonetized the channel. If they do that, I mean, if your channel just gets the little yellow dollar signs on there, that's fine. You're still being suggested and recommended and all that kind of stuff. But once they take all that away from you, then for that time, your videos aren't recommended. Nobody knows your videos are up unless they know your channel and go look. So It's really, really crappy. So one day I went in and went to every description all the way back to 28 pages of videos. Took me 8 hours to remove links all the way back years ago. 2014. I was like, man, that sucks. But because I didn't want them to do that to mine.
But again, why? Why are links such a big deal?
Because it leads to people buying a product that they deem against their community standards.
But I mean, if you're an adult, I just don't see you're going to make your own decisions. You're going to find that product one way or another. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, dude, but that's their terms of service, or that you can't put links that go directly to a place to buy them. So I was suggesting to companies, make a page that doesn't have a buy now on it, and that didn't even work. They were like, no, vaping channels cannot have links. but you can put it up on the screen if you want to.
Sure. I just feel like that's so excessive, man.
Oh, dude, I totally do, man. I'm like, man. We'll put it this way: the money from views, I would at least hit the $100 mark every month, and now it's like I'm never hitting that $100 mark. You can't get paid unless you make $100.
Yeah.
So once you accumulate at least $100, then they will pay you. But it's like I'm 3 months no pay from YouTube. So I mean, but I have other things. But what I'm saying is, if it's happening to me, it's happening to other people that were actually relying on maybe $400 a month for bills or whatever.
I think that's a shame, man.
It sucks. It's not cool.
I feel like you put all this time, you put money into your channel, and then they tell you can't make any money off your channel, basically. It's like the next thing, you're going to have to blur the fucking product out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can't show you that.
Yeah. You're just a black, like this bar, like why?
It's stupid, but hey, that's the powers that be. I mean, what we need to see is another streaming service that allows more flexibility.
Yes, I was gonna say, do you think that'll even happen? I mean, I know there's a couple we've talked about, but those ones aren't.
There's VapeTube, but I haven't. I've got one. I got an account on there, but I haven't really done anything with it. I mean, has anybody here done anything with that?
I got one. I put one video up.
Me too, and I got like 4 views on it and decided,
You got 4 views, man. Hell.
Yeah.
But look, now my channel's smaller, so it's like the videos of mine that have gotten at least a couple more views, well, a couple hundred more views. Now we're only getting like 100 views, man. So it's like,
well, it does suck, I mean, and, for people that are trying to start YouTube channels now, it's the age of being able to start a channel and having it grow organically because of the suggestions and suggested videos and stuff are pretty much over.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to be able to grow that way yet anymore. I don't know. But you have your old-fashioned way, social media. Make sure you post that stuff to social media and get people to share it and all that kind of stuff, and that'll help. But question is, where will we all be in 7 months with all this?
Let's just say whatever I got sitting on my bench, I'm going to be vaping on for the rest.
I will too. I mean, I'll be set, and I know how to mix juice and all that, and but
that's something I want to learn to do, is make my own juice. But it's like,
yeah, I'm not great at it. The flavors that I did, I had help doing those, and they turned out to be really good. The 3 flavors, but I can get by on my own. And if my question is, where are you going to buy that liquid nicotine? That would probably be like buying C4 or something.
Mike says he'll keep making mods. Yep. There you go. Look at that blue, Tony.
That's perfect. That is a beautiful mod. I know you showed me that one.
I think that's something that'll continue, though. People will make mods, and it'll just be like underground,
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, people are like, oh, this thing with the lung disease and all that. I'm like, well, those are people buying black market shit. All right. So if that's happening now, imagine when you put a ban on all of it.
Sure.
Imagine that. You're going to have people getting sick everywhere, and they're going to be like, why is this happening? Well, because you took access away from legitimate sources.
But I mean, isn't a lot of them that are with the lung thing? Isn't it have to do with cannabinoids and stuff too?
Here's the funny thing: if you look at the states that it's in, those states do not allow marijuana. So these are people that are like, well, shit, I don't want to tell anybody what I really was vaping. So they just go, yeah, I was vaping, man, totally.
Yeah, and
They
then
did it, dude. Because they would also probably have to deal with the law if they said what they were doing.
Sure.
So I think that's what's happening, is that they're trying to buy these black market THC cardos, and they're not legal in your state, so you don't know who's making those things.
That's true. It could be anything.
And they come in these packages that look like they're legit, and it's like, if you're buying it from some dude on the street, it might not be legit. Just saying.
Yeah. If Randy cooked it up in his toilet, he's selling it to you out of the alley.
Hey, what's wrong with Randy? Randy's my friend.
Wow, he'd be cooking it too much. You know what I'm saying? You ain't using the right formula.
Guys, I have to brag. So,
do it.
My kid, my son, I had him when I was in high school, and he played football second and third grade, and he had a knee injury, and they basically said, look, he's really young. He can't play until he's at least 12, and so he's 13 now, but he hasn't played since he was in 2nd or 3rd grade, and he all of a sudden the way they do it here, he ends up getting picked up by a team, right? And he gets picked by this team that's been undefeated for the last 3 years. So has won 3 championships in a row. And all these kids have all played together for 7 years. And he gets inserted in on this team. And within 3 weeks, he's starting. Not only that, but he also gets asked to play for this traveling all-star team.
Wow.
3 fucking weeks. But look at this shit. He's 13.
Start saving your money, dude.
What?
Start saving your money.
Well, this is
all that stuff costs money.
Hey, I pay plenty in child support. They can she can
they make that happen.
But I mean, so I don't know how well this is gonna show up on camera, but he's fucking almost as big as me now, and he sprouted up and it's just funny because since these are like all-star teams, there's 13-year-olds that are 6'4", and he's playing defensive end up against these guys, and they were having to double team him. His first game was yesterday. They were having to double team him, and you had these 2 giant guys, and here's my 5'7" son going up against 2 guys over 6 feet tall, and he still had 2 sacks that yesterday. It was fucking.
He's
awesome, dude. That is cool, man.
And he doesn't even know. I'm like, they did a scrimmage last week, and he forced a fumble, and I was like, awesome, you forced a fumble. And he said, what's that? What's a forced fumble? I'm like, so that's because he hasn't played. He's been playing for 3 weeks. So he doesn't even know what he did. He just knows I hit guys and I go for the ball. And he loves that shit.
That's all that matters.
Wait, is he in CrossFit too? Is that?
Yeah. He hasn't been doing the CrossFit thing since football started, but he did CrossFit for 3 years before.
But the CrossFit,
that's probably how.
The CrossFit translates well to football because you need a lot of those fast twitch muscles.
Yeah,
you got to jump off the line.
That's true. Very true. Sorry, I just had to brag.
No, that's awesome, dude. Bill, I was just Skyping to find out where your swell is. I'm like, hey.
I'm mad at Roy. He never answered a text message, or not a text message. I sent him a PM and an email like 3 times now.
Well, he moved offices and then he went to Canada for something, so I don't know. But I just Skyped him and said, hey, I know you haven't taken care of those winners.
I was like, I wanted to be one of the first ones. See, now the chat will see this because they think I'm just a fanboy and everything. I do not get special treatment from Tony.
No.
Everybody always picks on him, Bill, about it.
You do sometimes. I've sent you stuff, you know. I mean,
yeah, you've sent me stuff, but I'm saying like any of your mods, I'm not on the reviewers list. I don't get them with reviewers because I'm not big enough for Vandy Vape to notice. But that's the one thing I did want is that swell kit. I wanted to review that, but that got held up, which I'm not totally mad about. But it happens.
At least you're a winner.
I'm a wiener.
You're always a winner, Bill.
Yeah. So, keep telling them that, Tony.
Tony, do you use a lot? Do you use your products every day?
I do, and and that's the thing. It's like I have so many choices of things to use, but I'm like, well, I want to make sure that they work the way that they're supposed to work. I've actually even bought them from just random vendors. I'll go online and be like, all right, let me buy one from Element Vape. Let me buy one from this place, just to make sure that I check, because of course the stuff they send me is going to be good, right? Sure. They probably check it, so I'll do that sometimes, but I want to make sure I use them and that they work as expected, that kind of thing. So I end up using, besides right now I've got 3 devices that I can use that are all 3 different types. I'm good.
That was going to lead me. What's your favorite product that you've made?
Favorite product, for a couple of reasons. My favorite product was the first pulse regulated mod, just because that was what I had dreamed of when I was buying all these expensive French mods and crap, and I was like, these things are so expensive. And every time I put a video up for one of them, people would be like, Oh yeah, sure, $300, man, that's way too much. I'm like, I agree, but I bought it. you know. So I wanted to have a regulated mod that did at least 60 watts. That was, the kind of format of what I was seeing in the Facebook groups and things like that. That had a good chip in it. That was not a DNA, because DNA is so damn expensive. I knew the mod would be pricey. So putting that mod out, man, that was just perfect for me, because I was like, that was what I wanted all the way back at Pulse 22. When we first started working together, I wanted to do a mod, and they said, no, we're a pretty small company. We're just starting. In fact, I started talking to them before they had come out as Vandy Vape. So I was like, all right, well, if we can't do the mod, then let's do a squawking RDA. Yeah, we can do that. So that's what we started with. But yeah, mod wise, that's what I wanted. So that would be my favorite of all of them.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, you fanboyed out so hard over that the white Delrin Cloak V1.
Oh yeah, and the V2 is even better. But the daggers, the dagger goes all of those away.
No, I didn't do a Savage Corner. That's my son in the chat, Tony.
Not yet, he didn't.
No, I don't have a Savage Corner this week. I got Tony
or
here.
last week.
I'm a happy camper.
So you're afraid for Tony to see your Savage Corner?
But it sounds
anything to talk about. I've been pretty chill today.
It sounds like people want the Savage Corner. Maybe you need to do it.
I don't have nothing to bitch about.
Every week they want the Savage Corner. They come here. They watch the show for the Savage Corner, and half the time Bill doesn't do it.
Yeah. You're hurting my soul, Bill.
I'm pretty good today. I'm in a good mood.
Bill, like I told you, humans have a range of emotions. You can be happy and savage at the same freaking time.
Billy says boring. You need to do it.
Come on, Bill. Your son's heating you.
Now you're disappointing your son, and you don't want to do that, Bill.
No, never.
Wow,
never.
you have one of those lazy millennials calling you boring?
Wow.
Bill, you can't have that. You got to stand up for yourself, man.
Oh, wow. That's dirty, Mike. A peacemaker, and you. Oh, that's messed up, man. There's nothing for me to bitch about. I mean, I've had a lot to complain about. Every show we've had something, and I'm running out of stuff to complain about.
I disagree.
No, that's not a bad thing. Look, if life is good and you got nothing to complain about, then embrace it.
Yeah.
But they want it.
Yeah.
They want this out.
You know what? I can't complain about. You know what? USPS I can complain about, but the problem is, I realize I love DHL. I have never seen. Every time Smock sends me something, I have never figured out how the hell they can make a package go from China to my house in 3 fucking days.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do that.
And if by the way, if China sends something with UPS or FedEx, you're likely to get a message from them saying, yeah, we need to talk to you. Because I've had that with both UPS and FedEx, where they want, with FedEx, there was, what was that mod? The Pure mod from BD Vape, that little squawk, white one. Yeah. So they sent me that, and it was held up in customs for a week. And then finally they got a hold of me and said, yeah, we need to talk with you. I was like, okay. And they're like, what is this product? I was like, well, it's parts, I think. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I was like, it's parts, I think. And they said, no, it says it's an electronic cigarette. I said, okay, well, I don't know what they're sending me from China. And he says, well, we have to turn it over to the FDA. FDA looked at it and said, there's a $25 fee plus a brokerage fee for us looking at it. And yeah, it's okay. We'll send it on, but you got to give us this money. I was
what
like,
the hell, man?
Fucking keep it.
Whoa. Bill, your son has a very good suggestion for you.
What did he put in there?
He said, what about all the news stations saying vaping caused lung failures, but it's really...
I've gone over this before, and Billy knows this. We've talked about this at length when he was staying with me before he moved on to California. My problem is I remember back in the day that when a reporter put out a story, he had to prove
it's coming. Hold on. We got to do it. Yep, it was there. That's when he starts doing it, when he starts putting his hand up and stuff.
Yeah,
he's
like
getting ready to go savage.
Let him go.
Like this.
Hold on. Yeah. We gotta play the music and all that. We gotta Bill's got his own little, logo for this and all that I gotta play.
All right.
Yeah. See, I knew it was coming.
Play of a Savage Corner I've done in the past, though.
Okay, hold on. Here we go. All right.
Into it because it would probably get my blood up a little bit. But
all right, you're ready. You're good.
You don't need any more blood going up.
So what we've done. How many smoke buds? Hey! I don't have a Hitler stash. Mine goes all the way to the corners here. It's fucking so blonde. All right. So my problem is all right. Back in the day, it used to be reporters had to vet their sources. They had to reveal their sources. They had to prove that this was true.
Yeah.
All right. There was many reporters back in the day who were nationally disgraced for putting out fake news. And now fake news is fucking just common everywhere. You can, and I'm not saying, all right, I'm not going to say they all lie, but lying by omission is just as dangerous as lying straight up. And that's my biggest problem. I don't like the fact that, a lot of these reporters now are saying vaping is horrible. It's got all these chemicals. I don't like the fact that people can straight up, like, what's their name? Truth.org. Those guys can actually put out saying that you can fucking put all this that it's got formaldehyde, it's got this, it's got duck piss. I don't fucking care.
It's got duck piss.
I don't like lies. And that's my biggest problem. If you're going to say something, be straight up about it. You know what? I think vaping has saved many people. Vaping saved my life.
Sure.
And I'm fucking tired of it. I really am. And that's why literally I have friends who are like, oh, well, you do this vape review channel and you're into this vaping thing and look at this and look at this. And I always tell them, listen, if you value our friendship, stop putting that shit in my vape.
Yeah, just stop.
We're not going to do this.
Well, the other thing, Bill, is that it used to be, and this was even when I worked at the news station in San Diego, even a news reporter, one time I put a little chuckle into a stupid criminal story, and my news director railed me after that. If you ever do that again, you will never be on my air. Do you understand that? You never would infuse your own opinion. And these news reporters now on every topic, they not only do they not get it right, but then they go, well, see how that's going, or something like that.
There's actually guys to this day from the 70s still sitting in jail for releasing fake news back in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
So they lied, and they went to jail for it. There's one guy who was sentenced to 50 years because he ruined 3 people's lives with a fake story. I forgot the name and I forgot what the story was about. It was something about an arson and this guy lit a house on fire. And it turns out he didn't light the house on fire. And the reporter went to jail for 50 fucking years.
Wow.
So if one of these reporters talking shit about vaping was in front of you right now, what would you say to him?
I think, honestly, every time a reporter lies, one of us should be allowed to punch him in the throat. At least one.
What's better, throat punch?
You know what? Here's my problem is, okay, you can be left wing, you can be right wing, I don't give a shit. You can be the whole goddamn bucket of chicken. I really don't give a shit. My problem is you, by lying, you're feeding the FDA whatever, but what you don't realize is you're ruining other people's lives. You're ruining somebody's livelihood. Maybe somebody's got a business. They have a family to feed. By doing that, you're stomping out small business in this country. You're stomping out. We're supposed to be a capitalist country. Why are you stomping on capitalism? We're slowly turning into a socialist republic.
Oh, here it goes.
No, that's my honest thought. We're turning into a socialist republic. We all have to, before you can make a decision, you have to turn to the government and say, is this okay?
Well,
no, suck a dick. I'm going to do what I'm doing.
Well, I personally think we're a corptocracy, but that's basically what you said anyway, where big business is allowed to thrive, but fucking small business is,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like true capitalism works pretty well, but there's checks and there's checks and balances to keep the monopolies from knocking out so many of the small businesses, because that's why we have the problem we have, is because big businesses run politics. So you don't have left policies, you don't have right policies, you have corporate policies.
Yeah. I agree. And that's my Savage Corner for today. There you go.
All right.
I feel like you kept it a little bit just above savage, but not into like straight up hate. You know what I'm saying?
His face didn't have the vein coming out of his neck today, so
that one vein that stands up right here.
You only
have
have
one
one
popping out of
hand.
your forehead.
I was hoping you'd be more both-handed, you know what I'm saying? And you'd use one of these kind of things like when you're talking, you know what I'm saying? But it was good. I approve.
I honestly, wait, I'm going to put an argument, because you're right. It's for big business. And a lot of people think the government, like Nick says, the government picks the winners and losers. I really don't know if the government picks the winners and losers. I think it's more the mainstream media picks the winners and losers.
And Nick, you're right. That is what true capitalism is. But we've gone so far down the road we're at now that we would have to disband the monopolies in order to get it back to any kind of true capitalism, any semblance.
Yeah. I think we should build a wall around Washington, D.C., a large wall, and fill it with water. Done.
And we're making the politicians pay for it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bill, do you think
you want to see good healthcare in America? Make all the people in Congress take the same fucking healthcare plan that everybody else has to take.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely.
Fucking change healthcare like that.
Yep.
Carlos said that Bill was going to go off on Vandy Vape, but Tony's here, so he decided not to.
Oh, on the swell? Well, you know, that's not Vandy Vape. That would be my V-Pro that has not sent those out. I messaged him.
That's my V-Pro, but I'm not sponsored by him, so I don't care.
Damn, we've got a celebrity on the panel tonight, and now we've got a celebrity in chat. Everybody welcome Stan, Tenacious TX Vapes.
Yeah.
And he said Bill equals Trump Cousteau.
I have a joke with Stan where I always call him a celebrity, and he fucking hates it.
I feel like there's a lot of celebrities here today. You know what I'm saying?
We got William Cooper in the comments.
Well, y'all are celebrities. Yeah, Billy Cooper's in there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Billy Cooper, ramping up Dad Cooper. You know what I'm saying? Get him into that savage.
Billy knows how to piss me off. He's my son.
Well, I see he's not in timeout anymore. At least he can still talk to us.
Yeah. See, I thought Mark gave me crap, but Mark didn't realize I was showing this off before he came into the chat. I have my Squonk Life shirt on.
Oh, he wasn't showing it off. He was like, dude, when I'm done wearing this, I'm using it to wipe my ass. That's what he said.
It's a vape rag. I'm going to cut it up.
I heard that.
Guys, so Vaping Rhino asked about the FDA in 7 months. What's your thought on how that will go down? I have no idea, man.
Yeah.
But, I'm trying to keep my ear to the ground. The thing is, when these wheels start turning like this, unfortunately, you have these parent groups that think they're doing the right thing. But I guarantee you pull these things away. I'm not saying that it's okay for kids to vape, but I smoked when I was in 5th grade, man. That's what I was able to get my hands on. And if you take vaping away, then you're going to go, oh, great. Now all these kids see smoking is up. It was perfectly what we said, that vaping would lead to smoking. I'm like, oh. Well, once the parent groups get involved and they start to sue the FDA to make them enforce their rules by the time that they said they were going to, well, unless the FDA appeals, that's it. That's done. In 2020, they have to enforce this stuff. So if that happens, probably the only place you're going to be able to get new vape stuff, unless it's a pod or something that's produced by a tobacco company, you might have to try to buy it from a China website and hope it makes it through. That's how it's going to go, unfortunately. And juice companies are all going to go out of business. And I just, I don't know. It's a very real question that none of us have answers for. Some people are all about.
We stood a fighting chance until all the freaking anti-vaxxer soccer moms got on the fucking bandwagon.
True story.
They started pushing it. We still have a chance, but yeah, like Mike just said, we're probably going to wind up going underground because it's going to be one of those things that, and I said this when we first.
We're still going to get them, you know.
I was saying this, and Mark will tell you, I was saying this in the group before we ever had the live stream is, you know, everybody was worried and saying, oh, well, it's been repealed back to 2021. And I told them, everybody's going to rest on their laurels. Nobody's going to be staying in action. And the FDA is going to come in and hit us sideways, and we're going to get taken out. And that's exactly what's happening.
Well, look, the big tobacco companies have already started approaching companies and buying up liquid stuff and websites and things like that. So, look, man, they're already in. You know, they've infiltrated. And, you know, bottom line is, if we want to vape, and vape is available in some form, let's say a tobacco company is able to provide for you the liquid that you actually have always liked, and a refillable thing that might be a pod or something like that, and you can still vape. I mean, you know, the bottom line is we still want to vape, right? You know, are you going to say, well, screw that, I am just not going to buy anything from a tobacco company? And you'll have to research, because there's tobacco companies that are at the back end of a lot of these vape companies now. So, you know.
I mean, I was kind of disappointed in the community as a whole, because Washington had put out basically a petition. Steve, It was on your group. I saw it shared on your group. Yeah. It needed 100,000 signatures to get into Washington for them to look at this again and reanalyze it. There was 10,000 signatures. That's fucking pitiful.
It is pitiful.
It's pitiful. And you know what the problem is, and like I've said many times, if everybody would send an email each time they posted a hand check, we would probably be a lot further along than we are.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is, though, I'll be at work and I'll be watching the news, and then I'll see stuff about vaping on shows that have nothing to do with any kind of stuff like that, and they're just talking about how bad it is. The other day I saw vaping, it most likely leads you to smoke pot, and it's like, how? Where did you even get those assumptions like that? And then you push that out in the media, and it's like, that's what people see. They see all this stuff that it's like, that's not even, there's no truths to that, you know?
Yeah, it drives me crazy, because, you know, you watch these news stories and you're like, oh my God, you totally missed the point. You know what I mean? Or they show a graph. Teen smoking is down, teen vaping is up. And I'm like, well, okay, look, again, I'm not saying that teens should be able to vape, but
lesser of the two evils.
If it goes away, what do you think they're going to do?
Yeah.
You know.
I agree. What is it, Ian K? 4 years ago, yeah, we were a lot more active. We were tenacious. We were like crazy ready to fight. And the past 3 years, everybody's kind of mellowed out.
Well, yeah. I mean, it gets to the point. I think a lot of people they're just at the end of their rope with it. They're like, what am I going to do?
It's like obstacle after obstacle, man.
But look, when the government decides that they're going to freaking do something, they just do it, and they don't care. They just don't. They're like, this is what we're going to do, and like it or not, we're basically going to hand it over to tobacco, because they're the only ones that can afford these PMTAs, except for maybe a couple of larger juice companies. I just don't know how the China thing is going to go. Like, because a tobacco company could come in and buy a juice line, but they can't buy a Chinese, you know what I'm saying? So will these Chinese companies go, okay, well, look, we have a few items that the SKUs reflect something before that deadline. How about we sell these to you, and you can sell them under your own label? We'll put your own, Marlboro on it if you want. We don't care. That may be, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But
it's kind of funny, because the two, I keep seeing commercials for Views and another one. But if
Blue, Views, and Juul. We have, in here in North Carolina, a lot of Juul commercials. But
the funny thing is, The Views is owned by Altria, who is R.J. Reynolds, who owns Winston-Salem. Yeah. You know, and there's another one out there that's owned by Marlboro. What is it? Philip Morris. Their commercials are all over TV here in Vegas. I see them all the time. I hear them on the radio driving to work, and it's driving me crazy because how can they say, "Oh, well, vaping's so bad for you," but they're letting tobacco companies advertise on the radio and TV now. You know, how do you excuse that if the FDA is so against Alto, if the FDA is so against vaping, why are they allowing the tobacco companies to actually advertise prime time on TV where kids are watching?
Right. Yeah.
You know,
some channels more than others, like Game Show Network, Comedy Network, those, at least here, they play a lot of them. What I noticed when I was in California, though, last time I was visiting my parents, is that mainstream TV plays a crap ton of commercials that are anti-vaping commercials. 90% of what they were saying was incorrect or just conjecture. I was like, no, that's not okay for you to do.
Yeah. Well, I agree with Mark. We fight amongst ourselves a lot. High end versus low end, cheap versus expensive. I ain't even gonna go into that. I'll just piss off everybody.
Bottom line is there's a place for both. You know, when somebody says, "I can't believe you'd pay $300 for that mod," I'm like, well, look, I have a friend that buys $300 pairs of sneakers. I ain't paying more than $65 for a pair of shoes. I'm like, what the hell? 70. Yeah. But to him, those shoes are totally worth it. You know, it just depends, you know. But you also need to have that inexpensive stuff out there because, again, it's not just about us and our desire to have the coolest friggin' mod in the room. It's not just that. And it's cool if you want to do that, but you also have to have that cheap, disposable, throwaway stick vape, whatever, because not everybody's into that, man. You know, some people just want an automatic vehicle. Some people want to have that stick shit, you know, but you know, I'm glad that there's everything out there. When I started vaping, if I had to spend $300 on a mod, no friggin' way would I have started vaping. I would have said, "You're kidding me. I'll just smoke." That's stupid.
Tony, because you said stick shift. My brother-in-law calls a stick shift a millennial anti-theft device.
It is, because they don't know how to drive those things, man. I'm like, what the hell? What do you mean you don't know how to drive a stick shift?
Hey, Steve, can you drive a stick shift?
No, but I can't ride a horse like Bill either back in the old carriage days. My Conestoga wagon's been outside my house for years now. I can't believe it. No, but I think you make a good point, man, because I don't want to live in a world where there's only cigalikes and just only one type of vape. You know what I mean? I want all the types of vapes. I don't want just one thing and that's it. You know, that's not what I think's a good system.
You know, I mean, I have expensive vapes. Often I will load them up and I'll use them for a week and be like, okay, cool. Let me clean it up and put it away now. You know, because I'm always testing something anyways. Yep. So, but I don't use them every day. I you know, a good beater, that's fine with me. You know what I mean? What's
crazy is a lot of the stuff I review on my channel is high end, but you know what I find myself using on a day-to-day basis? I mean, because I don't want to take all my stuff out, man. You know what I mean? I don't want to.
That's kind of high end, though. That mod right there is what, $150?
Let's go with the VTN box. I use this on a daily basis.
Okay, there you go.
Where's your food chai?
it's here. Don't worry, Bill. I got it safe and sound. All right. But I mean, I don't want to take my high end stuff out of the house because if I drop it, it's wood. It's gonna break. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like.
What I've been using more and more, though, are pod systems like this. Like a nice, because I can set this down. It's like a little box mod. You know, it's not a stick that's going to be falling all over the place and stuff. I like them. You know, now I normally vape 3 milligrams. Maybe I'll put a 6 milligram standard liquid in it. I might use salt. You know, 25 milligram salt works great for me in something like this because I'm not using this like I would use that. You know what I mean? I'm using this to get a couple puffs, you know, before I go into the restaurant or, and I go out a lot, you know, I like to be out at friends' houses and stuff and keeping track of a mod, which that's why I find my mod on here. But this I can stick in my pocket and don't even know it's there.
Yeah. My work mod is this little orchid. I love this thing. That orchid has been great for me.
I can't get into sub-ohm tanks. I can't get into pods. I've tried. It's just not for me.
So you just like MTL tanks, or?
No, I like little single coil 22s.
Yeah.
That's just my speed, man. Everything else. Now I like the GT4. It's the tank, the RTA, but I mean most tanks I don't even like either, man. It's mostly I can do single-sided airflow or regular 22s. That's more my speed.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I would like to be able to use a sub-ohm tank because then it's easy. You just take it, fill it up, and you can go with it, But I haven't found.
Stan says bad, Tony B. The dot box is not high end. It's high end price.
It is high end price, but it's
I mean, because most people, when they even with the Diatic, people saw that and they're like $75. No way. I'm like, well, I mean, that's what they're charging.
Sorry.
I don't make any more or less for my cut of that because with the price that they charge.
Yeah, and you don't decide the price of the mod either.
I don't at all, and I always hate that part.
So wait, does it come with an RDA too, or no?
It does not. No. Yep.
So I mean, it's a dual battery, and there's not a lot of good ones. So I mean, that price is not bad considering it has.
It's a good mod. Now, if it gets into the regular retailers, then I can see it being less, like probably 65.
Well, actually, Vapor DNA has it for 60.
But they don't have it.
No, they do.
In stock?
Yeah, I'm about to order it.
They must. I'm looking because if so, I'm going to tell people to go check that out because people are asking me where can I find it.
No, you got to wait till I order. I got to go deposit money in my bank account before I can.
I'll wait.
Because as soon as he puts
it out. If Tony puts it out, they will sell out.
$60.
How much was the Rage? The Rage was like 75 at my store.
Yeah, I think it was about 75.
They have all of them but the blue.
Oh, man, I like blue shit.
I wanted the gunmetal. Blue I like too, though.
Gunmetal looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he talked about the Swell Vapor Swagons.
Get a copper? What?
He's telling him Tony needs a Notion MTL.
I need a what? A Notion
MTL? The Mount Alon?
I'll have to check that. Yes, I know what that is.
I'll take a Notion.
I'll take one.
I don't have any fucking notion about any damn thing.
I don't know shit.
Carlos Ramirez said, if you like blue shit, Steve, drink a lot of grape juice. Pretty quick.
You might actually have blue shit if you do that.
Yeah. No, I like blue devices, man. I try to pick up if I see a blue device, man. I think they're cool.
I gotta say, Dot Mod, their stuff is always so nicely made. Like everything is just aluminum and everything fits together nicely. I like their stuff.
I will say they give you a good presentation for what you're buying. You know what I mean?
They do. I'll give them that.
The only thing that was wrong with this is this airflow being right there because every freaking time that's how I hold it. I'm covering the airflow. I'm like, dang it.
You gotta get with Chris Sonker and get you some panels for that.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, Chris makes some really nice panels.
Well, I just sent him a Swell today because he hadn't gotten one yet. So I'm like, yeah, you need to have one of those.
Yeah.
I feel like this, for what it is it's a nice device, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Only thing that was messed up on it was the time, the way they set up the time on it. It was not right, but I mean, it's just something minor. It's not even like serious,
Right.
Instead of being seconds, it looks like minutes, but I mean, it's really not that big of a deal.
Oh. Billy's asking you a question there, Eric.
What? What's he asking?
He said, how are we feeling about the VTA suing the FDA? Or do we still have a bad taste in our mouth after the last jackhole?
Look, if anybody is bringing lawsuits or defending us, you kind of got to support that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you do. But
even if they're jackholes, it's like, well, shit, they got money and they're going to put the time out there. I support that.
I think that's true, man. You know, you got to try something different. You know, even if it might not work, at least you're putting it out there. I mean, it's something.
And they got a little bit of news coverage. I did see it on my local news, so I was like, well, that's good. Yeah, see, I contacted our local news, and I said, if you guys ever want somebody, I mean, my local news is actually Virginia Beach, but I was like, if you ever want somebody to give you the other side of this stuff, please contact me, because I also provide them photos for their weather and stuff. So I was like, I'd be more than happy to talk with you guys about this stuff. They're like,
but they don't want.
I was going to say they don't want that side. They just want to keep pushing out everything that they call facts, and it's just and put it in your face every day.
One of the funniest things I ever noticed is my mother-in-law got me to do this. She told me, she goes, if you want to watch real news that's not biased, watch the BBC.
Yeah.
And see what they say about America.
They do cover stuff very well. Yeah, I would say that's good.
Yeah, they covered it very well. And I mean, now they have 4 hospitals that have vape shops in the lower lobbies to get people to stop smoking. I was like, come on.
Well, there's a simple reason for that, because you see, they over there, and I was talking to a couple people there while I was there last time in London, and they were saying, look, our government has to pay for our health insurance. They want us healthy. Okay. If something is going to keep us healthier than smoking cigarettes, they're going to give us that. So our government is not interested in that. They don't care about keeping us healthy. They just, let's keep that health system going. And, you know, unfortunately, that's where we're at, man.
They want us all smoking. Cancer's big business.
Hey, you know how that's true? And this is a little bit off the wall, but I mean, you can get Cheetos on your fucking Kentucky Fried Chicken sandwich, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
or a giant
that shit is so good.
It's like this.
It might be good,
when KFC came out with the double down, I was like, holy shit, that's the most unhealthy thing I ever saw.
Yeah.
In the back of your mind, couldn't that be targeted towards kids too? Like,
oh, it totally is.
People.
So what's the difference then?
The cereal aisle. What about liquor? You know, here in North Carolina, we have ABC stores. They're run by our state government. I go in there, and you've got rows and rows. In fact, the entire back wall of the place is all vodka. And there's whipped cream vodka, there's birthday cake vodka, there's everything else. I'm like, now wait, is that targeted at kids or me? I like whipped cream. I might want whipped cream vodka.
There's actually a vodka here that's cherry candy flavored, and it's got. Do you remember those fruit ribbons? It was like fruit roll-ups, but it was like a ribbon. It's got a bunch of those in the bottom, steeping in the vodka. It's got. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah, you know. But if you want to go to another side of all that, you know, you've got people. Is a kid allowed to walk into Starbucks and buy a coffee with all kinds of sugar in it and all that crap? Yeah, they don't ever stop them. They don't say, "Hey, well, you got to be an adult to do that." Well, when I was a kid, my parents let me smoke, but they didn't let me drink coffee. They're like, "No, that'll stunt your growth."
Yeah.
They didn't really let me smoke, but once they found out I was, they were like, well.
Yeah, that was me too. It was my dad said, I'd rather you do it in front of me than hide behind my back.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we had a smoking area in our school in San Diego. Poway, Penasquitas, Rancho Bernardo, all had smoking areas. And all I had to do was get my mom to sign a little pass, and I could go walk up to the yard dog and go, yep, there's my pass. And I'd go in there. And we did everything in the smoking area. It was chain link fenced, but, they were passing joints in there, selling drugs, everything else, but you could smoke in school and pretty much everything else. So now all of a sudden vaping is like this evil thing. I'm like,
That's what gets to me, man, when they say it's an epidemic and shit, when there's a lot worse things that like underage people are doing that I would consider an epidemic before vaping.
Oh, you mean like eating freaking Tide Pods and shit?
I mean, look at the statistics on underage drinking, man. It's way worse than anything else.
Tony, you got to be careful when you're talking about eating Tide Pods because you might get Bill a little upset.
Uh-oh.
That's what he had for dinner.
on the East Coast, he was saying they try different things. On the East Coast, we have a thing, and I know Vaping Rhino, Dominic's going to know what I'm talking about. It's called the spaghetti principle. And what that is you keep throwing shit against the wall and see what sticks. That's basically what it rolls out to.
Bill, I live on the East Coast too.
You live in this. You live in the mountains. When I talk East Coast, I mean New York, New Jersey.
Yeah, you're kind of East Coast. West Virginia.
Yeah. That old Manson-Nixon line.
we got to break out a banjo, man.
Did you mean Mason-Dixie?
Yeah, Mason-Dixon line.
Manson-Dixon.
Did you just call it Mason-Dixon line something else?
By the way, a thesaurus is a book that has synonyms in it, Bill.
You can learn about Mason-Dixon.
So what's a synonym?
Here, let's Eric, Steve, where is the Mason-Dixon line?
It's actually near where I live.
Yeah, it's right by where he lives.
It's right in Wetzel County, I believe.
It's the bottom half of Delaware.
No.
Yes, it is. It's on the border of Delaware and Virginia.
West Virginia.
What, West Virginia? Okay.
Come on, Bill. It's 2 states, man.
It is 2 states. You can't get that confused. And people in Virginia will get very mad if you call them West Virginia.
So I thought that it runs like over West Virginia and Maryland.
Yeah.
Does it go into Delaware too?
No, it's right below Delaware.
It's literally not far from where I live, man.
Yeah.
Part of it, at least.
Hey, Chris.
Huh.
No, I was just busting your nuts because I know Steve lives right there. I was waiting to see if he knew where it was.
What's a Mason and who is Dixon? Tell me.
Exactly.
Really?
Well, I don't know the answer to that. That's why I sat for a second.
That's why I said really, because I don't know.
Well, I don't know either. But,
Wait. Huh? Wait, what? Stupid fees. You have to pay $55 a year per pet on a license to be a responsible pet owner.
What?
Where's that?
I have no idea where that is. It's probably somewhere where they abuse sheep.
What's up, Chris? Oh, mailman's here. Robert lives like half an hour from me, so.
Oh, does he?
Maybe
I figured it was a land where men are men and sheep are nervous.
Yeah.
That's on our state flag.
I thought that was Texas.
That's a state motto.
That's our state motto. Our state animal is the sheep, Bill.
They are very bad where Steve lives.
Yeah.
Dad. I thought it was his dad.
Oh, yeah, his dad. Oh, Pierce County does that. So it's a county in Washington. Wow. Well, that's fucked up.
I know Vegas is still enforcing that new thing that you have to take out a $100,000 insurance policy if you own a pit bull or a Rottweiler. Which I think is stupid because more people are bitten by fucking chihuahuas than any other dog.
That is probably true.
Yeah.
I've been bitten by a chihuahua.
I got bit by a beagle.
And then we got divorced.
Oh, that's funny.
So you got bit by a chihuahua or you got bit by someone from Chihuahua?
You're not allowed to say things that have to do with nationalities anymore, Bill, because apparently everybody will perceive you as racist for whatever reason.
And then they'll start saying you have a Hitler mustache. So
Yeah.
No, what's that? There's a full mustache.
But on camera, all I see is this part right here in the middle. That's all I see on camera.
That is true. On camera, you can't see the edges because it's reddish blondish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Straight racist.
Hey,
What you need to grow it out so you can get a little curl in there, and then you'll be all right.
did you guys know that secretly Bill is the man who makes the boxer mods, Ginger Vapes?
Get the fuck out of here.
You weren't supposed to tell anybody that.
Sorry.
Don't associate me with him. That's fucked up. That's rude.
What? Well, I loved my boxer until the chipset stopped working on me a weekend, and I realized that all the wires were soldered wrong. But
Well, that would be a problem.
yeah,
He doesn't do that. He does the hair thing. He licks and twists them. That's about it.
That's why I like the mech mod, because you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. No, I'm not fucking around. Like, I liked it a lot. I was very impressed, and then it just...
I never got one, man. I was gonna pick one up. I just never went for it. Yeah,
that's one thing about that DNA board. You got to get it right too.
Yeah.
I thought they were too expensive. I saw so many hand checks, and all it looked like was an Illumide mod with a DNA board, and I wasn't paying $250 for that.
Yep.
No way. I dropped my 200 and change on a Cloak V2. That was it.
Yeah, that was a nice mod. But that dagger, I'm telling you.
I don't know. I got a new mod this week. I got the core design. And I love this thing. There's no battery access. If you want to get to your battery, you just pull the top off, and there's pegs in there. I love this thing.
Hey, Tony, in the chat, they asked, do you ever thought of doing an RDA with only one airflow setting?
If I did, then people would go, oh, but you can only have one airflow setting. This thing sucks because I can't adjust the airflow. One thing when you're designing stuff, you have to think through all those things, because you're like, okay, what are reviewers going to say? What are people that are going to buy it going to say? And, sometimes...
That's a con every time.
What's that?
That's going to be a con every time.
Yeah, so it's like, no, I haven't. One thing we are looking at doing, though, is a version of the Pulse V2 that does not have the Ultim ring on there. One thing, just a tip, anybody that has the Pulse V2, when you are taking off this airflow ring, don't pinch it from the sides where the metal is, right? Because think about it, you're just pushing against the metal, and when you pull up, you're going to snap it. Grab it by the airflow, and it comes off just like that. Real easy. But we were thinking about making one where there's no Ultim ring, which I like the Ultim ring because that separated that top cap from the barrel. But another way to do. I like the deck on the Pulse V2, so I was like, well, people complained about that Ultim ring breaking, and it's going to happen if you don't do it right. So and people aren't going to do it right. So we're thinking about making a version of it that does not have that.
What would it have instead then? Metal?
I can't really say too much about that.
I don't know. I like the Ultim ring because if it separates the top cap and the bottom cap, granted, it's not going to wipe out the heat that's going to generate in the cap, but it should heat sink from the heat that would transfer from the deck.
The barrel, yeah.
Yeah, it would stop it from carrying up and increasing the heat even more in the top cap.
But that's one of the examples of that is that I thought it was great. You could put 3 different airflow rings in it, all that kind of stuff. But, when people get it in the real world and don't use it the way that I use it, I go, I didn't really think about that.
But when you get an item like that, speaking from like the everyday guy who uses this stuff, my thing is if it's got multiple rings, I'm going to find the one that I like.
And that's what's going to stay.
In the drawer.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm the same way, and I like the honeycomb one on there.
Me too. Yeah, I thought the Pulse V2 was very underrated.
Well, part of the problem is this. Vandy Vape is now in a cycle of wanting to release a kit, right? If they had just released the Pulse V2 as, an RDA, it would have been noticed more. But the problem is that people, they just discount something that comes with the mod. They're like, oh, it must not be that good. Because I typically get a kit and throw the tank in a drawer.
Yeah.
So I think that was part of the problem is that people didn't view it as its own thing. Yeah. But I also can't control that. When Vandy Vape decides how they want to do their packaging, they're the ones that are investing all the money in manufacturing, distribution, all that kind of stuff. I can't control that. I'm like, all right, I'm telling you, do better if you just put that thing out by itself. But
I had a problem with another mass-produced company that I was talking to about my RDA, and the first question they asked was, do you have a mod design that goes with it? I was like, no, it's just an RDA. It doesn't need a mod design. It's standalone. And
like,
said, no, I'm not really interested. We're looking for kit mods that we can put together. I was like, nope, sorry.
Yeah, so.
I don't want to get into deciding a mod. Fuck that. That's way over my head.
It's a lot. Yeah. And really, the aftercare is a lot because, when somebody has a problem with it, they don't contact Vandy Vape. They contact me. Hey, Tony, man, check it out. I'm like, all right, service at vandyvapeusa.com. That is the address. One thing that I do impose on these companies that I work with is I tell them your customer service has to be really good. I don't care about the rest of your products, but on anything that has my name on it, you better respond to these people quickly because that's both of our names there. Okay, so you can do whatever you want with your own products, but with mine, I expect a quick response, and I'll know if you don't because these people will contact me and say, "Hey, man, they haven't gotten back to me," like Bill with the swell.
Well, the problem is you're able to contact him. I've sent him multiple emails and multiple PMs, and he's never responded to one of them.
Yeah, well, they know that they have to respond to.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. I totally get it because I figured you'd have because I've seen you in the chat post, customer service at Vandy Vape, whatever it is, and all I think is in my head, you have that copied and pasted somewhere. You have that on the clipboard of your phone or something where
I have sometimes done that, yes, because I'm like, all right, I'm tired of answering this question. Here you go.
Yeah.
Wait,
especially if I type out a good answer, I'm like, well, I'm just gonna keep that.
You didn't know that, Mark? He builds all the mods in the garage.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that true? Do you build all the mods in your garage?
Well, I wish, because then I'd get all the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
I find this.
Well, Bill, you probably know if you're talking with now. Bill, is the company that's making that RDA they a U.S. company? Are they China?
No, I'm in talks right now. And I'll be brutally honest with a mod company and Dot Mod. I prefer to go with Dot Mod. It's a bigger company. I think they have a better reach. But my big problem is the other mod company they're not a big company. They're based in the Philippines, and they only want to do 150 to 200 RDA to start, which isn't a whole lot.
Yeah.
And I told them, I said, if they sell out, are you going to make more? Well, we'll have to look at it again. Okay.
That's where I am with Watofo. Yeah.
Yeah, and Dot Mod is like, well, we have two things in the works right now, and the AIO took off a lot faster than we thought it was going to, so they're trying to catch up with that.
Sure.
And they still haven't put out the RBA. And between you and I told Parker over at Dot Mod, I was like, dude, you should have had that RBA section ready before you released that AIO.
Yeah.
Granted, the timing was beautiful to release the AIO because everybody's got one, except me. I gave mine away. But I think they should have had that RBA ready to go before they released the mod, because it could have been released like 2 weeks after the mod and they would have had a second surge in sales. Because nowadays it's all about rebuilding. Everybody wants to rebuild their stuff, even the pods.
Yeah.
You get a better vape from rebuildables,
Agreed. I'm not going to argue that. I just think it's silly because they said, well, it takes the Nautilus coils. And Mark Link is in the chat, and I were going crazy because when I first got mine, I was searching all over because it said it took the BBC coils from not Aspire, the Nautilus.
Aspire, yeah.
No, they took not BBC coils, the Nautilus coils. But Nautilus had an RBA section.
Right.
So that's why I was looking all over. You can't find them. They were like $7 all over the place, but you can't find them anymore. Nobody has them.
Yeah, because other things are using their coil, so people are like, well, sure, let's go buy that, man.
Yeah, that's exactly, because if it's a Nautilus coil and it's a Nautilus RBA, it should fit.
Right. You are correct. All right, guys, it's 10:30. I'm going to go and spend a little bit of time on the couch with wifey.
Yeah, I think we'll probably sign out, too.
Would you like to start the outro, Mr. Tony B?
Okay. How do you do that?
You're at.
Tell us what you got going on. Tell us where. Well, everyone knows where you're at, but I mean, if you want to tell somebody that may not know where to find you.
Well, you can find me Vapor Trail channel on any social media: Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube. It's all, somehow I locked all those down with Vapor Trail channel. So you can find that. The next show that I'm going to is going to be ECC in Ontario, California. So I'm getting ready to go there. Probably we'll get a video up tomorrow, and then that will be about it.
You're going to be in Vegas?
I will maybe be in Vegas. I'm hoping to. Come on, it's Vegas. I got to plan that.
We got to go to PT's and get a tail wagger.
Oh, dude, PT's, man. I love those places. PT's pubs are great.
Well, I was going to talk everybody into going to Big Dog's Pub this time, but I don't know. It's a little far away compared to where the hall is.
Yeah. Well, come on. There's Uber.
Take a bicycle.
Yeah, there you go. Take a bicycle.
Just don't walk in Vegas because, the thing is, everything looks closer than it is. And one of the things I learned when I moved there, one of the first things, I was like, I could walk from Circus to Caesars. That's not that far down there. No, I could do that. No, you don't want to do that.
Halfway down, you're holding your back trying to flag a bus down.
Yeah, because it's not good.
Hey, I just seen your dog walk in the room, man.
Yeah, Luke the Peekapoo. Come here, buddy. Let me see, buddy. Come here. Oh, that's the man right there.
That's cool.
He's always so groomed. Do you take him?
He just got his haircut, so yeah, he's looking pretty good right now, man. Luke the Peekapoo. Yeah, I figured, hey, listen, I see people on Instagram being influencers. Why not make my dog an influencer? And if he can make money, at least he can pay for his haircuts. Dude, his haircut is $50 for a haircut for that dog. It's more than my wife.
I couldn't pay $30 for mine.
Yeah.
Well,
So that's what I'm working on.
That's cool. Well, Bill, what about you, mister?
Cooper's Vaping View. Check out the channel. Give me a subscribe. I say it every week. But thank you to Mr. Tony for being here.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me.
Thank you to Eric for taking care of the back end.
I'll always take care of your back end, Bill.
Thank you to Steve for being here with such perfect hair. And thank you to everybody in the chat for showing up. You're the reason we do what we do. And go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, Steve's going last on his own fucking show. Oh, damn it. I need to get
my hat out.
Mine's behind me. Thank you all for watching. I'm actually, the next video going up, my Patrons already knew this, but my next video up is not going to be on the Vape channel. It's going to be on the Digital Heroes channel, and it's going to be a diss to a diss track. I'm not going to say who to. That's Patreon only. They'll know, but it'll be up. And might be working on another thing with someone else that you guys know soon, so keep an eye out for that. That's going to be more of popular culture type shit, so check it,
Are you
dog.
turning into another Jay Hayes?
No. I'm going to have multiple channels. Well, I guess he has multiple channels. I don't, the people that subscribe to my channel, they only want to see vape stuff. They don't want to see me talk about my politics. So we'll do that separate.
There you go.
All right, Steve, since it's, what is it? 7:34? 7:34.
Well, I do want to thank Mr. Tony B for being here. I'm getting my hair mustache ready for you. Got to have the finest mustache in the land on my forehead. But I do thank you for being here as well. It is a joy to talk to you. I'm glad you were here to bullshit with us. It was fun. And I want to thank you, Mr. William Cooper from Cooper Vape Review. And Eric. Oh, there it is. There's the Johnny Appleseed hat, man. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, everybody in the chat, I want to thank you as well. It's been a good show, a good fun show, I think. And I think that, you got to have more fun in your life. You got to have a hair mustache, or you got to have a regular mustache, even if you're Bill and being racist. Just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not already subscribed to Mr. Tony B, subscribe to him. And also Mr. Cooper and Mr. Vaping Politician. And, if you want to subscribe to me, that'd be cool too, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I got a channel. I do reviews sometimes. Every once in a while. Put them out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
once every 6 weeks or so.
Once every 6 weeks or so after I get done, making my hair look good.
Puts out reviews every time he gets his hair cut.
Well, his wife's sister wife, he has to get permission or get another black eye.
Yeah, if she don't domestic abuse me a year, I usually put a video out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's not looking over the corner, dog. You know what I'm saying? Shit's real. But that being said, at 10:36, I do thank all of you.
7:36, thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. 7:36.